My name's Larry Spar, and I live at 181 McChain Road, Finleyville, PA. And I'd like to address a statement that was made at the last township meeting. One of the most ludicrous statements concerning the management of township funds that I ever heard down here. And that refers to the reserve fund that we always try to maintain a balance, so to speak, in the event an emergency arose where we didn't anticipate having to lay out funds for. And Mrs. Spears here tonight, she was a former secretary treasurer. She would know what I'm talking about because she helped rebuild a reserve fund for this township after the township almost went totally broke, and all the consequences that derived from a lack of funding. And some of us were able to rebuild that fund over a period of years, not days, not months, but a period of years, to where we had a cushion of money equating to the recommendation of the Board of Auditors in standard common sense. As you people have learned, now you have several roads in this township in a disastrous condition. And Mr. Harshen is going to refer to it tonight and the amount of funding that it's going to take to rebuild those roads. Same thing happened to Peters Township a few years ago, where they had a major and a catastrophic loss of a roadway, which they had to rebuild. And if I recall correctly, the amount of money that the council had to authorize to restore that road was something like $500,000. So that when you build those reserve funds, it's not the question of spending everything you have. It's try to create a fund where, in the case of emergencies, you have money to address those problems where they weren't anticipated. And secondly, nobody's down here, nor have I ever heard that anybody wants to defund the police department. I have never heard discussion along those lines, ever. If I did, I would tell you. And what I personally was talking about was the board's responsibility to assign officers where, in one instance, you have a traffic control problem in this township. I just observed it again this morning along McChain Road. Vehicles flying up and down that roadway. 25-mile-an-hour speed limit. Some of those automobiles and trucks are going 50 miles an hour at least. If somebody pulls out of their driveway along that roadway, there's going to be some problems. The same as I witnessed out on Route 88. Comments I received from folks over on Mingo Church Road, Mingo Church Road. That's what I was talking about, not defunding a police department. That in itself is another ludicrous statement. Thank you very much for your time.
Larry, I'd like to address some of your comments.
Good.